Recording, yes we are. Hey guys, how you doing? And this is the review for One Piece chapter 783, which is entitled In My Way. Okay, the chapter starts off, we see Robin, we see Kyrus, we see Leo and some of the other Tontattas, and they're looking at the explosion that's happened in the palace, and they're just wondering, should we go help Luffy? But Robin and Kyrus is saying, nah, we'd only get in the way. After this happens, we see Luffy and Law, they're unharmed by the explosion and they're heading towards outside the palace. Luffy spots Robin and he throws Law towards her, which she catches him in a spider's net. During this time, Don Flamingo shows up and he's like to Robin, what do you think you're doing? Don't get involved. The Law is very much still part of this fight and he attacks with bullet string. Now Luffy tries to stop the attack with a hawk whip, but it's ineffective. So we still got the bullet strings heading towards Robin, and she's trying to protect Law, but in comes Cavendish, and he blocks the attack. Cavendish now he goes to Luffy like, what's going on? Like, how come you haven't taken out Don Flamingo yet? And Luffy is trying to get Cavendish to get them away from the area. But Cavendish is like, nah, like I finally come faced with Don Flamingo helping you out. But Luffy manages to convince him and he's like, alright, cool, guys, we're going down to the lower areas. During this time now, we get to see Leo and Mancherry. They're looking at Trafalgar Law's basically the arm, and they're basically saying Leo could stitch up the arm, and then Mancherry do the rest and she'll heal it so then it'll be completely healed. So that's looking like how Law's going to get his arm back, because I don't really think that anyone thinks that Law's going to end up armless at the end of this arc. Do you? I don't. Anyway, we go back to the fight now with Luffy and Don Flamingo. Sorry, excuse me. Go back to that fight now, and then Luffy hits him with I think it's a Hawk Bazooka. He doesn't call out the name of the attack, but I think it's a Hawk Bazooka. And this sends Don Flamingo flying, and he's just laughing off the attack. He's like, ha ha ha, you're fast, but you're not hurting me. This tickles. And then Doffy comes in now. He attacks with overheat. And during his attack, he's remembering back to the time where he basically first found out about Luffy and the Straw Hats. And that's when Crocodile was defeated. Like, he heard what was put in the news, but he didn't believe it. And then basically he found out, he figured out that it was Luffy that beat Crocodile. And ever since then, he's basically been impressed with Luffy and the Straw Hats. And then what happened after that? I gotta check my notes. Storm, you gotta check my notes. Yeah, so after that, basically Luffy gets knocked out of the palace area. We can see him stretch. We see him stretch out his arm, so he's obviously ready to go back into the fight. And then the scene changes again to Cavendish, Law, Robin, and Kyrus. And basically what happens in that bit is that we have Law saying that how put me down, I want to see the rest of the fight. If Luffy wins, I want to see it with my own eyes. If he dies, I want to die here with him. He's basically just taking responsibility for what's happened. So he wants to see the rest of the fight for his own eyes. And Cavendish at this time, he's like, no, I'm not leaving you here. I'm not leaving you here. But basically he then gets convinced to he convinces him to let him stay. But Cavendish was like, alright, if you're staying, I'm staying. If you want to die, I'm dying first. That basically happens there. And then we go back to the fight with Don Flamingo and Luffy again. Now Luffy tries a Grizzly Magnum, but it's too slow. And then basically Don Flamingo he attacks again and knocks Luffy down basically. And then he just goes on to start talking about how the bird cage is still shrinking. If you don't do this within certain amounts of time, then these civilians are gonna die. And then basically the whole island will be dead. He basically just goes to break down what's left of the bird cage's compression time, basically. And then he goes on to say to Luffy, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you trying to be a hero? The only thing you're accomplishing is being a thorn in my side. And that's when Luffy gets mad. He's like, no, you're being the thorn in my side. All you're doing is making my Nakama and my friends mad, and for that reason, like, I've got to beat you. And then the chapter ends on 2 words, which is basically the most hypest part of the chapter. When I read this, I was like, no, there's not. And there's 2 words of gear forth. Yeah, that's right, gear forth. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a gear 4 now. What do you think it's going to look like? I don't know. Personally, my brother said he thinks it's going to be the gear 3, gear 2 combination. But I was like, no. I want it to be something fresh, something new, something to be excited for. But unfortunately, Oda's taking a break next week, so we've got a 2-week wait until we see gear 4. If we even see it in the chapter, he might do something. He might go off on another. Imagine you went back to Sanji now. Can you imagine how violated would you be? But yeah, that's the chapter really. Yeah, that's the chapter really. Based on my rating is gonna be based on the fact that how okay, my rating is 4 stars, and the reason why my rating is 4 stars is because the gear 4 at the end that boosted it up to a 4. But if it wasn't for that, it would have been a 3, maybe a 3.5. And the only reason is because right now I'm in One Piece. Like, I don't want to be sidetracked from the fight, from Luffy and Doffy's fight. I just want to see the fight right now. I just want a full chapter, Luffy and Doffy, no one else. Fights, maybe a little talking, but I just want to see the fight right now. And we got those little we got the scenes in between that interact to the fight. I understand that they may be important, but I don't care right now. I just want to see the fight, really. Like that scene with you see Bartolomeo, and he's still excited about Zolo's attack. Like, that was funny, but I don't want to see it right now. So that's the reason why I'm giving this chapter a 4-star rating. So tell me what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Take care. Have a nice day. I forgot to mention how in this chapter Luffy, even though Don Flamingo has taken Law's attack, and now he's basically not 100%. It looked like, well, to me it looked like how Luffy was still struggling. No, he was still struggling to get the upper hand over Don Flamingo. So I was wondering, like, now that we know that he's going into gear 4, do you think like Luffy's just gonna batter him now, or like do you think there's still gonna be a struggle? What do you think is gonna happen? So yeah, also put that in the comment section as well. Like, I'm interested to see what you think on that situation, because I personally don't know. I think if he just battered him, I'd be a bit like, no. But maybe, like, if it's still a close fight, like, I wouldn't say Luffy going full out, but like a close fight, yeah, I think that's something I could accept. So yeah, guys, that'll be it for this chapter. Take care.